Good morning. My name is Ernest Joki. I believe you should know me by now. If you don't, I'm a product designer and visual identity designer based in Lagos, Nigeria. I design mobile apps, websites, and brands for influential brands, for tech brands looking to bring change into the ecosystem. And I'm niched majorly in Web3.
So one thing that makes me feel good, according to the introduction here, is I like to keep track of my life so I can be up to task. That's why I made this dashboard, so you can track and I can track and intentionally decide what T's are crossed and what I's are to be dotted. And I pray we make the most of it. So here I've kind of outlined the most important part of my life I need to pay attention to. There's a general panel, there's a documentation and goals, there's a career and work. For this version of the Notion board, these are all you'll be getting. But eventually, I intend to add things like spiritual life, education, and finance. All right, so let's get into each of them quickly so we don't spend too much time. So for the general, there's housing. Now, I use this to manage everything concerning my house, my apartment where I live, and everything that I need to do to make my house, my space as comfortable as possible. So this is if you're looking for an apartment. These are things to look out for. So what I was looking out for myself is facing windows, blah blah blah. This might not be useful to you if you're living with a family member or if you're looking to move places soon. But if you are, you might decide to write down what you're actually looking for in the house you're going to here. The next thing are ground rules for living alone. These are the things even though I've not like completed it so well, but they're the things I intend to actually like keep up with to make sure living alone, because I live alone currently, can be a sweet experience rather than being sad. And now the next thing is furnishing plans. Now, when I moved into my current apartment, I knew I had to do a lot of furnishing, a lot of expenses and painting and all those things. I had to like write it down, keep track of them, know what I need to do, what I have not done. So you can use this for that. You can write out several furnishing plans you have, what you need to buy for your apartment, and then you can just move this around. So what you're seeing here is a board kind of view. So a board view consists of several smaller boards or several smaller stacks of several things that you can actually add text inside. For example, backlog just signifies things I intend to do, but I have not actually placed an advanced timeline on them. So I say I want to get a generator and inverter, I want to get an air conditioner, I want to fix up my kitchen, I want to upgrade my work table. I think I've done this. So let's move it to done. Take this one back. Let's move this one back. Why are they together? It should be alone. Okay. So there's a to do. The ones you intend to do anytime soon, you can add them here. Whatever you started doing already, you can add it here. When it is done, you can move into this. So you can actually just anything that comes up to your mind anytime in the day, week, month, you can just pull it up and add it to this part of your title of your page. The next thing is house measurements. Now, this might not be useful to you, but it was important for me because I needed to know if my workstation is going to actually fit into where I had cut out for it. Okay, so I needed to like know what fit by what fit is this. How do I measure like these different dimensions? So when I'm actually buying things like cutting, fixing my table and whatever, I knew they could actually fit into what I was making. So you could use this to like take measurements. Now, other things I had here are things like my room needs this, my wardrobe needs this, my kitchen needs this, my workstation needs this, my bathroom needs this, and all that stuff. And inside each of them, you can see I've written out the things I felt like I needed to buy for my room. Um, Workstation, you see I've written out things like gadgets, ergonomic table, the price. You can see God I beg, like when am I going to do this one? So inside of it, you can just you click on new. You can add a gadget. Let's say I want to buy a new MacBook Pro M1. Okay, so when you type in the gadgets, you can type in what you let's see where you are. Let's say you've not actually gotten it. I need to. So let's say it's an idea for now because I have not bought it yet. So it's an idea. It's a want. So let's call it a want. Call it a want. So make it a want, and then you must have done your research with the pricing and several other things. So you can write out the price. Let's say it's around 1 million naira. Let's just call it 1 million naira. And this week actually keep a consistent look at what gadgets you're buying and all that stuff. Now the next thing is let's say my wardrobe, the kind of clothes I want to buy, just anything as regards clothing, wardrobe, it can all be there. Your kitchen, what I need to buy. So I wanted to do the same system how I had done for the workstation, but I felt like there's no need to do that. So I use this to like write out what I need to buy for my kitchen. I use the emoji to signify if I've bought it or not. So this is all for housing. Yeah, you're allowed to still create. I don't know. We all have different living differences. You have something like it's quite different from mine. You're allowed to work around that. Maybe add a few things, take out a few things to make this template actually fit into your current lifestyle. Now, the next thing is movie lists. Now, this is just a platform or a part of my a dashboard where I just pin every movie I see online that I want to watch and what I have watched. So that way, I kind of keep track. I don't actually use this a lot. I just know I want to use it at first, so I can like, recommend movies to my friends. But I don't use. I just go on Netflix and watch what I want to watch and just go on my day. But if you actually prioritize keeping track of the movies you watch, you might want to use this part of the dashboard. The next thing is food and recipe. Now, I am a bachelor and it's been crazy. So one of the things I want to be particular about is keeping track of the things I eat, having a way of kind of having a system to like keep track of these things. So I use this as a food table and a recipe table. So you can see it's broken into days. So let's say on a Sunday I should have fruit salad as breakfast, a cup of tea, then I have rice and beef stew in the afternoon or the evening. Now inside each of these cards, I have gone a step further to actually write the ingredients to prepare that. So it's not just a food table that tells me what to eat for each day. It still contains information on how to cook that meal, why I need to cook it, and several other information that I feel like very important to me because I'm a bachelor and I can't cook everything. So I this just helps me the issue of I don't want to cook today. It helps me avoid that to an extent. Yeah. So you're allowed to when you get this, take out a couple of things, make edits, add what you already eat consistently. You mustn't actually add a recipe. I know it's important. You mustn't add that. But if you like to explore food like I do, you might want to do a thing where you're writing out the cooking procedures, you're writing out the ingredients you need to make that food. So that's for food and recipe. Next thing. So there are other things like travel plans. I like to travel. I used to travel. I think that I travel. I don't travel a lot, but I traveled last year. So I like to plan things. So I like to plan how I travel. So whenever I get an idea, I want to travel to this country, I want to travel to the States, I write it down, I write the expected expenses and all that stuff. Then I actually try to go for that trip. So you can actually just the same way you see there's a new tab. When you click on it, you can write where you want to travel to. Let's say you want to travel to Kenya, like I intend to do this year. You see, you're going to Kenya. Let's say it's already in planning. For example, I'm going with a group of friends. We're already planning it. So it's in planning. You write when you intend to travel, and that should be in August. So let's say August. It's a 4-day trip. So August 24th, 28th. So let's end it. So 28th. Okay. Then I can write out the places I want to see when I get to Kenya. Yeah. What am I going with? Am I going solo? Am I going with a friend? And all that stuff. Then how much do I intend to spend on this trip? Just let me keep track of my travel plans. The next thing is my love life. I don't think you might want to see what's inside of it, but it's just things my girlfriend likes, recurring stuff my girlfriend and stuff like that. If you are kind of person who's always busy like myself and you want to actually be intentional about like your love life, you can actually use this. You need to make more upgrades to it later on. For now, it's not a priority. The next thing is going forward. I don't think I want to open this, so this is quite a big personal, but just a couple of things I wanted to do. I feel like I wasn't doing properly. So this is my Q1 reviews. I looked at my Q1 and I felt like I wasn't doing these things properly, and I could do. And this is how I could do it better going forward. So I wrote that down. I might actually share this. It's in the folder, so you can read it. It can actually help you know how to review your own Q1 and actually make good plans for your future. So now that is all I have for general. I know there's still other parts of my general life that I felt like I could still need to document, but this is all I think I need to do for now. A page on or a section on documentation and goals. Now, basically, I did a lot of goal setting, documentation, and I want to give my kudos to say my thank you to Blessing Abeng. She actually hosted this class earlier this year where she actually taught me how to plan my year. She has a workbook on year planning. I'm going to link that in the bio in the description rather. You can buy it. I think it costs around 10,000 naira or around $10 or so to get it. But I've taken the liberty of actually just transferring all you need to learn from there into this mission dashboard. So basically, so these are my year goals. So this, if you use this, I feel like it's going to be useful to like set goals and stuff. So this is the foundation. For this year, I hope to build a whole new system around designing and implementing my life. All right. So for foundation, the goal has to be smart, specific, measurable, time bound, attainable, and relevant. Now, the first thing you see on the speech is self-analysis wheel. Now, it means what you're trying to do is to actually analyze how you were the year before now to help you decide how you're going to plan yourself for this year. You should have done this before now, but if you haven't still actually done this properly, this is a good time to do it. I'm going to attach the book I talked about from Lesson Abel in the description so you can go and read on all of these things. And basically, whilst you're reading, you're meant to actually be practicing what you're reading, like doing it as you're reading it. So I think the first thing I need to analysis wheel. We're going to like analyze parts of your life. Then after analyzing yourself, you can document that here. If you prefer to use paper and biro, that's fine. But I prefer to use Notion because it's an all-in-one software. The next thing is the next step two is okay no the next second step is step one, which is the dream. So now you want to write out several things. So imagine there's no obstacle, no failure, no limits. So what is the one thing you would do? These are just several things around goal setting. If you read the book properly, do the task, you can actually fill all of this out. Next thing is to now actually convert your dreams into goals. In 5 years I want to be here, 6 I want to be here, 6 months, do all that. You can type that into this place. Then this is now the systems. What goals am I paying attention to? Can I be accountable to for sharing my life? And then the goals themselves. So when you actually go through that video, you can use this. But if you have your own preferred medium of goal setting, but you want to bring it into Notion, you can still do that here. Open a new page, bringing all you have on goal setting onto this, so you can actually go back to your goals as much as you want to within the year. So that is that on goals. The next thing I have on this page is character building, and this is a personal one where I wanted to be able to like write some of the things I needed. I think I needed to learn. I think I needed to learn. Okay. So next thing is my journal where I write. I have not been writing like I should, but yes, that's. Oh, next thing. Habit tracker is the system I created to track the habits I wanted to really bank on this year, even though I have not really been consistent with actually filling it in. So it's a set of different tasks. So this is for January this year. So I've written out the things I wanted to build a habit around. Get up early as 7 a.m., pray, make my bed, hydrate, take my vitamins, clean my room, read a book, go to the gym, come back, have a bath, declutter in my space, read another book again, which is usually my school book, or go to school. Then towards evening, I want to journal, I want a bit of yoga. These are other things I didn't want to do, so it wasn't all planning on tracking the habit that I was already doing, but things I don't want to do. So I don't need them already, but just going to like have that down on my habit tracker. You can actually adjust this by just clicking on anyone and typing in the habits you want to build. The next thing on this dashboard is a financial expense or budgeting timeline. Basically, I wasn't meant to add this to this dashboard, but I felt like we shouldn't have to wait till later to have this on our dashboard. So basically, it just covers like what I spend money on every month.
So this is not how I actually spend. It's just like I just created this template for you to use. So this is several expense. So I just write this down. How I do this is I actually take out a statement of expenses from my bank, my spending bank, and then I write out at the end of the month, I write out everything I spent on. I transfer all that data into this place. Then I actually analyze how I spend money and then make a comment. Don't spend this money next time. Go for a cheaper option and the likes of that. The next thing is a financial. That is actually the same thing but for different months. So you can just duplicate it when you need to for new months and stuff like that. Now, the final thing where I feel like most persons will be the most interested in is the career and work path of this dashboard. Now, this part actually covers a lot of things concerning my tech career, my work. I actually used to have another platform for another place. It's still on Notion, but I had this whole thing. Let me see if I can pull it up. I had this whole thing where I was keeping track of anything concerning my career, about me, my purpose, get to know me, personal bio, hours of work, skill sets, where I work or where I've worked. You can see top priority, where I've closed, documentations, where I want to work, journaling, social media presence. So I kind of just took all of these things that I was just putting together whilst I was growing earlier last year and made it into what you have on this one I'll be sharing that you actually bought. Okay, so the first part is you have to know yourself. This is a bit more about you, such that when people actually need to ask about who you are online, you can have a consistent look and feel in words to them. So this I actually created this using this can actually answer these questions what you can see on my screen now, which is me, my purpose, and my brand, from a book by Blessing Aben called Disco Self. It's actually meant to help you properly analyze and discover the kind of person you are. This is the template, but on my own page I've kind of answered all of this. So you might want to do this self-analysis and actually have this written down. You can change this for your own name. Okay, you can have a media kit. I'm sharing this to you even though this is not meant to be part of this, but this is a media kit if you are a person who is particular about how you're seen online. If you do all these spaces, talks, you go for events and you want to have a consistent brand, so you can use this. Just substitute all I have written for myself into what you're doing, and then whenever you are asked to send the media kit, you just give them a link to this part of the project, part of your Notion file rather, but it's still about you and it falls under what you do as a designer, as a tech enthusiast or whatever. Then I keep track of awards I win. I haven't written anyone here because this is like the dashboard itself, so there's none here, but you can actually just attach. It might not be very big awards. Maybe you hit an all-time high with your social media content, you can make an award for yourself. It helps me to be joyous whilst I do what I do, to not lose track of the work I do. The next thing is other things like if you're starting out newly and you want to actually keep track of your personal branding, design, visual design, identity, and then have a timeline. I actually created this to showcase and help you build out your personal brand strategy. I need to know why you're doing what you're doing. So for me, it was to showcase design, create content, make friends, and get full-time roles. So you just answer all of this. I feel like you already have this figured out. But if you need an expert experience, expert rather, to help you with brand strategy, you can reach out to me. I do branding, I do communication, and I can help you with that. But if you don't want to do it yourself, there are lots of YouTube videos you can actually watch, and they can help you with personal branding. Now the next thing, visual identity. So these are now you understand the kind of person you are. Where do you want to be seen on social media? So Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and the likes of them. Then how do you want to get projects? What freelancing platform do you want to be on? The next thing, corporate identity, not too important. The next one, this is a timeline to track whilst you're designing or making this part of your branding. Now when you're done filling in the about you, the next thing is to keep track of your work, which is another very important thing. So for me, these are the places where I work currently, even though I have actually closed a lot of them. You can actually just write this down. It helps me to just know what I'm doing, where I do full-time stuff, and I help me to know what I'm doing. Then this is my tech portfolio, my personal portfolio as a designer. I intend to fill this on before I actually go ahead to start designing it. So everything concerning personal project I've worked on, they're going to be in here. I've actually taken out a lot of things so I don't sell my clients projects because I'm making a video, something like that. So you can just fill this in whilst you're working on your portfolio. The next, this is now the main thing, which is the project management dashboard. Now inside this dashboard, you can see a kind of system where you can manage clients' work. Yeah. So most of what I do on this dashboard is actually trying to manage my clients' work such a way that when I just pull this up, I can see the work I've done for a whole month, and I can see how much I've charged, how much I made, how much I spent doing that project. I can see where we're at of the project. I can see how to chat to the client and everything in documentation. There is a newer version of this I actually have, but I haven't made it into a template yet. But in the V2 of this file, I'm going to be sharing that. So here you can see, like I said, you can just click on new to add a new one. Okay, so it's breaking into different, it's like a table format, breaking into different things. So here you can write the name of the project you're working on. Okay, whenever I get a new client, I just write down blah 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 blah, this client, this, write it down here. Next thing is to write what status are you at. For example, when the client is still discussing with me, like we've not actually like signed off on the project, I can make it into backlog. Okay, or if we're already working on the project, I can say it's a to do. Like they've paid me for the project, but I've not started it yet. It can be a to do. Next thing is, if I'm working with somebody and they have access to this Notion file, I can assign this to them. Okay, but even though I don't use this because I do most of my work alone. Then when is this project due? You can have this down. What priority? Is it top priority? Is it the least priority? And then sometimes I have multiple stuff I'm working on from one person. So I can say, who is this for? Is it a freelance gig? Is it a company gig? Is it a contract role or whatever? So I write this down. Then how much did I charge the clients? Am I charging them? But everything here is in Naira. So I can actually write how much I'm charging for the project. There's actually a newer version of this, which I will still share, but this should be enough for you to actually track clients' work. Next thing is,
So that's majorly it on work projects. Next thing is tech education. Now, aside work, I understand that a lot of us actually still needs to actually like take courses, brush up on our knowledge of what we do as a tech guru, as a designer, as an engineer, whatever. So I have this part of my dashboard where I keep track of what I am learning, what materials I find online, because there's so much online to use to learn, and I need to have a place where it's all together that I can always get back to them when I need to. I even took out time to even create my own resource. For example, this video you're watching now, such that when I want to share it to somebody who is actually asking me, where did I learn this? I can just tell them, okay, get this link, I learned from this, use it as your Notion file, something like that. So I have a learning tracker. So I just write out what I am learning. So this is graphic design. These are just dummy text because I'm taking so actually. But here you can write out any course you start taking or you intend to take. And then when you start the course, you can now move it to ongoing. Just drag the card to ongoing. And when you're done, you add it to finished. So this will help you be honest with the courses you need to take and actually take them when the need for them actually arises. Now,
this video,
I also have a
so you can
roadmap.
have a
I found
look at,
this
like, what
from
she does
a very
and all
good
that
friend
stuff.
on YouTube I
This
follow.
is the roadmap I intend to use to grow my skill. This is going to be only useful to designers. I don't know how effective it is for developers. The next thing is my resource nook. So here I actually pin the resource I could find online that I feel like other persons would need to actually grow their own careers. So that is that for like things I create or whatever. Then for educational materials, these are the things I find online that I know are going to be beneficial to my career in product design, that I have to put somewhere that is not where everybody can have access to. When you find stuff online that you need, that you feel is going to help your career, you can actually just tag them here, your learning process rather. So there's opportunities to learn with. When you open it, you can see I have pinned things inside of it. Things I need to do to land a high paying job, I have pinned things inside of it and whatever. So these are visually for my career in design, things I need to learn. Then my tech journey, because I knew I wouldn't just fly from A to B. I had to plan every single step of my tech career in such a way that I was moving as fast as I could. I was moving at speed and I was moving the right way. I could plan 6 months into my career and could say, okay, 6 months I want to be here, and I can actually use that to effect what I need to do today to be there in 6 months. So I started with branding actually 3 years ago or so, or 2 years ago. I had it all planned out, what I need to learn, what school I need to go to, what would make me exceptional, what courses to take, certifications to do, and all that stuff. And I did all of this. I was the best I could find what else I was doing. I knew there are other guys better than me, but to me, I felt like the best. So I moved from strategy to visual identity design. I had things I had to learn. So some resources actually to like pin here for motion design. Then I moved on from visual design to website design. I didn't do this for long because to an extent, no, I shouldn't be opening this. I didn't do this for long because to an extent, it wasn't something I kind of enjoyed. I could sell on its own, but it was a pathway for me. Next step, which I am at now currently in my life, is product design. So there are lots of stuff I actually have here, majorly resources that helps me to do that. So you can actually just plan out your trajectory in your career through your tech journey through this part of the folder. My next place should be front end development. Okay, for web, this is web, this is app. So I still have other things, still other tech education, all things resources, the books I read or books I have read. There's volunteering and voluntary involvement. They are still not my tech education because eventually it adds up to me learning. So I know I learned or I taught design on that GitHub few days. I did Dream DAO, I did University for Good, I did Civics Unplugged. So that's all of it for tech education and design. You can use that to keep track of what you want to learn or your career trajectory in tech based on learning stuff. It mustn't just be courses, it can be internship you want to take, it can be voluntary involvement, it can be you teaching other people too, or you can have all that tracked and maintained through tech education and design. Now, the next thing is social media presence. Well, I knew that I had a huge competition already, so one way to be a step forward is to actually track and plan my social media presence. So these are some ideas I find online that I felt like I could piece them together in such a way that I could easily find them when I need to. So when I actually start working on my website, I will just start thinking, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? I've spent so much time actually researching, seeing random things I loved that I know is going to help, my social media presence as a designer. So on this part of the dashboard, you can always put in things you find online that's going to help your social media presence, your freelancing career, maybe your LinkedIn page, your Dribble page, your open source involvements. Anything you have, you place the most relevance on based on social media, you can all track them from this part of the page. So here I was running a business initially, a design agency. So I had several website ideas I liked. I love what they were doing. I liked the design style. So whenever I find one I liked, I just pinned it to this page. My personal portfolio, I have some I've seen. I love what they were doing, and I pinned it here to go back to them when I needed to build my personal portfolio. Behance, there's nothing here currently because I've not really prioritized Behance. But if I see something I like on Behance and actually want to use it, I just pin it here. There's Dribble, there's freelancing websites, there's LinkedIn, and all that stuff. So anything I find that is going to be of relevance to my social media presence, based on the platform I am focusing on, I just pin it here. So there's Instagram too. So I like the way these guys actually were presenting their works, and I pinned it here. Personality and brands, so many different things. Now, outside social media and templates, the final thing is, how do I track jobs and applications? Now, aside doing freelancing, I shoot a lot of DMs for full-time roles. I try to get jobs. I've been trying to get into Google for a while now. So Google, if you see this video, please offer me a job. Please offer me a job. Anyway, so I keep track of the jobs I apply for using this part of my dashboard. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to understand the required skills for full-time roles in this niche of business. Now, lately, whilst being the designer, I focused entirely on Web3, new tech, AI, VR, and the likes of that. So I know I can actually sell a skill of Web3 to maybe a fintech company or maybe to a health tech. So I didn't want to even shoot for roles in that line of business or in that sector. So I had to study the required skills that was needed for Web3 companies. And I pin them per company. For now, it's just one because I haven't been applying for a while. I have a job I'm working on now, so I don't need any other job currently, a full-time job actually. But if you still have, please offer me. But then, let's say for consensus now, I go to their website, I look at what they ask of you, and then I pin it here, and then it helps me to know what to expect when I start applying to them. So you can do this too for your job applications. Okay. The next thing is the questions I want to ask whenever I get into the interview stage, because that's very important to your job application. So I have a list. You can actually adjust as it fits, to your own applications. What are the metrics for how successful I can be on the job? How can this company help my career growth? What's the working environment like? Is it full-time or is it a contract role? What are the benefits? How will you handle my payment? The likes of that. You can update it as you can update as it fits into your own life. And the final thing is the actual job application dashboard, where I keep track of companies I have applied to. I keep track of my portfolio, my resume, and whatnot. So here I keep track of every job I apply for, so I know if I'm making progress with my job application. So, for example, I have applied to only 6 jobs in my whole career as a designer. Cowrywise, RiseVest, Vault, Roku, and Superfluid Finance. Now I've been rejected from all of them, but I intend to apply again because I actually my career trajectory kind of aligns with these companies. So I'm not trying to shoot for a lot of roles. I'm trying to shoot for the ones I know I fit the best into. Currently, I'm the ambassador for Cowrywise in my school, so I know what the work experience can be like. I love the community and I really want to work there. So this helped me to keep track of like that. So when you have this on, you can just pin in your resume here. You can pin in your cover letter here. You can pin in your portfolio by just clicking on it and uploading your file to that. Now, for every job, every time you start applying, let's say you see a new job you want to apply to, you can just put it here, new, you type in the job, the company name, what are you applying for, what type of business is that, then what is the status. Now, for example, if you've applied, they've not gotten back to you, you can set it to applied. Okay, then when you get to interview stage, you can set it to let's say where is it, interview scheduled. Then when you've interviewed, you can set it to interview. So I have this all written out for you to actually keep track of these different stages of the process. So when you get the job, do your happy dance, happy dance, happy dance. Then the link where you found the job, so you can actually go back to where you need to, should be attached here. You can drop 1 or 2 comments about maybe the process, what you need to do to actually land the role. This would help you keep track of your jobs and applications. Now, the final part of this long ass video is a gadget wish list. I'm a big fan of gadgets. I'm a big sucker for gadgets. So I've yet to update this properly, but I intended to actually keep track of the gadget I wanted to buy in the coming year. Now I've bought some of these things, okay, but then I see something I like because there's something I like somewhere on Instagram, on Twitter, and instead of me to just jump into buying it randomly, I just add it to my wish list and I say, okay, I like this stuff and I would like to buy it, but I don't have the money now. And when I have the money, I'm going to buy it. So you can use this to keep track of the gadgets you want to buy and the likes of stuff like that. Now, this is all about the dashboard. Yeah, that's all you need to know about the dashboard currently. You can see things about like spirituality, education, finance are still coming soon. But when they're ready, I'm going to make a video specifically for these different things. Now, if you actually prioritize these several areas of your life, this dashboard should help you keep track of them at the very least. Help you keep track of them so you can make organized and well thought out decisions as regards your career, as regards your work, as regards your education, as regards your projects, clients management, and the likes of it. And I hope that this video actually helps you to know how to use this dashboard. If you have any questions, any queries, any misunderstanding, and you need my attention, you can send me an email. I've attached the link down below. Reach out to me, and then just keep up with me. When the new version is out, I'm going to send an email to everyone who bought this dashboard to show you and to give you access to the new updated version for a cheaper price than usual. All right, that'll be all for today. Thank you and see you next time.